Revelations after revelations after ICC match referee Chris Broad, and now it's come all the way to Chappell, who has once again confirmed a lot of these allegations because he has been with the Indian setup as their former coach as well. And he quotes saying that yes, it is absolutely true that certain favors and loopholes have been created as far as the Board of Control for Cricket in India is concerned. He said that ICC's statement regarding this is still expected, but he said that recent statements of Chris Broad accusing the BCCI of bowing to pressure for the ICC is correct. He also echoed Broad's concern about lack of neutrality and growing administrative crisis as well in the ICC, of course being pressurized by BCCI. He also went on to highlight a very famous incident where Sourav Ganguly was actually saved from a ban due to interventions made by the BCCI to manipulate ICC's disciplinary proceeding as well. So we'll of course be discussing this, and I think it's once again these revelations make a lot of sense. They've already been making a lot of sense, but now people have started to come up and be very vocal about it. So I think it's going to be a real eye-opener for the cricketing community around the world. I'm Ahmed Nawaz. You're watching The Scoreboard, coming to you live from our Islamabad studios of Pakistan TV. We're going to be discussing this and much more. Let's take a look at other top stories as well. We of course go on to the Paris Masters as well. We have to give you all the updates regarding the stellar tennis tournament after this as well, which has given us Cameron Norrie defeating world number 1 Carlos Alcaraz 4-6, 6-3, 6-4. This is a monumental victory for Cameron Norrie. Remember, before this, 4 times they had met, 3 times Carlos Alcaraz had won, and only 1 was Cameron Norrie's victory margin. But he was just superb, and a lot of people didn't expect Carlos Alcaraz to lose like this. The world number 1 was tipped to be the favorite in the Paris Masters, but he's done exceptionally well. So of course, congratulations to Cameron Norrie. This marks the first British win against a reigning world number 1 at the Paris Masters in over a decade. So this is another record that has been made. Then we move on and we discuss Pakistan's first T20 international against South Africa, which ended in a horrendous defeat. We were nowhere in the game. We have to talk about not just 195 to chase down, but the way our bowlers were taken to the cleaners. Batting was completely annihilated by Corbin Bosch. We had no answer to anything in this game, which became a game of disappointment. So we will be discussing that in detail. Then of course we move on and we tell you that how climate change has now started to affect sports and athletes as well. We of course tell you that reducing frequency of ideal racing temperatures is 10 to 15 degrees Celsius. But more marathons are now facing heat-related withdrawals and slower times all over the world as well. Organizers are forced to reschedule races to early mornings and cooler months. And of course, extreme heat is projected to break historic performance record and increase medical risks as well. Climate scientists and sports psychologists are calling for adaptive planning for heat safety regulations as well, including shoes that are now being made with certain amount of cooling material as well. But this is a growing concern. Every sport right now is affected by global warming and climate change. So this really needs to be put into perspective and put into check as well. Then we move on to baseball for the MLB World Series Game 4, which was, of course, one to remember. Toronto Blue Jays beat the Los Angeles Dodgers. Toronto leveled the World Series at 2-all. And, of course, this was a big 7th-inning rally swung moment. And Shohei Ohtani struggled to mount the conceding key runs as well. Toronto Bluepen shut down Dodgers in the final innings, which became a game of nerves. Star-studded attendance in this game as well. A lot of celebrities and royalty was also in attendance to watch this game live. Then we move on to something which just is so sweet to say. Sir James Anderson, the veteran English fast bowler, has now been knighted officially by Her Royal Highness Princess Anne in a ceremony at Windsor Castle. And this ceremony, of course, took place where James Anderson was officially knighted. His knighthood was confirmed, and now he shall be forever known as Sir James Anderson as well. So we will be, of course, talking about this. Of course, 700 plus test wickets, and of course the whole world is celebrating at this moment. And Jimmy himself was very emotional, surrounded by his loved ones, his family, his wife and 2 daughters, and of course he enjoyed every moment of this knighthood as well. And of course, Sir James Anderson. We had been saying this before, but now it's official. So then we move on to the King's Cup, round of 16. Al-Ittihad beating Al-NASSR. Surprising results over there as well. Of course, Cristiano Ronaldo's team suffering a shock exit from the Kings Cup. This is since joining the Saudi League. Ronaldo has now missed 13 titles. So as a team unit, certainly performance is not there. So that's what we're discussing and much more on the show today. Of course, we'll be starting off with cricket, and joining us in studios is first-class cricketer and sports expert KASHIF. Assalamu alaikum. How are you, sir?
I'm perfectly fine, thank you.
Well, we had ICC match referee Chris Broad making some revelations. We already knew things like this happened. That's why we often, use the mockery and use sarcasm to say Indian Cricket Council, not International Cricket Council. But now suddenly they've become very vocal. Greg Chappell has also come in support of Chris Broad as well. So it's come to a point where India is being given a lot of margin for slow overage, to a point where now they're also doing a lot to overturn their bans which has come out. But even before this, in the last T20 World Cup in USA, we knew that scheduling was typically made to suit Team India. So a lot going on at the moment.
I still remember Hansi Kronia for that matter, Indian bookmaker at that time, and there was accusation on Hansi Kronia and his early morning or late night call to Ali Bakar for that matter. And we were, going through those news, and we were just about to, witness Hansi Kronia coming up with something. And unfortunately, that plane crashed. Next up line was Tony Greig. He started saying so much about cricket and what's happening in the cricket and what's happening in ICC, courtesy BCCI. And then we got the news of Tony Greig. So does Shane Keith won, because he was there and he was talking about, something too much of Indian influence on ICC, and then Shane won. And now all these ex-cricketers have started pulling up all those curtains, and they are coming up with all those accusations. Most probably just not the accusations, they have got the evidences to prove, to go with too. It's now time. Ramiz Raja was very vocal at time when he was the chairman, that every league around the globe, every franchise league around the globe has Indian investment in them, and this is where they have said $10 million to Pat Cummins and $10 million to Travis, and both of them rejected, because Pat Cummins always loves to keep them silent, and this is where his aura is. So coming for all those players, all those cricket lovers, when they talk about something, it's bound to be true. And most probably we've seen enough of it, because we know for the fact there are certain decisions going their way. Cricket is a game of so many variables, and if you just come up with 3 to 4 variables going your way, you are bound to win a match, because ultimately they've got some players and they ultimately need some assistance from the 13th or the 14th.
But for far too long, like you mentioned, this has been highlighted. Now people are becoming vocal as well. But once again, I would like to remind people that Jay Shah is the chairman ICC. So, and the larger picture is that the ICC hasn't really released any statement. So they've not confirmed it, but they've not denied it at the same time as well.
Because they cannot, and the ICC will most probably they'll remain silent, because this is something coming from someone who is not anymore part of ICC. So most probably they'll be thinking that he wants to get attention of the world.
Should have done it when he was there.
Yes. So, and most probably the current cricketers, when a current cricketer comes up, for instance, Pat Cummins or anyone else for that matter, Travis Head comes up with that they just not offer the money, this is something beyond money and they wanted to do something XYZ, then it will be eye-opener for anyone. But right now, for every current cricketer, we need to admit that every current cricketer, the bank balance is this soaring with the amounts they get through IPL contracts or through their franchise cricket contracts. So most probably they'll stay quiet as long as they are playing, and ultimately they came when they feel that this is the right time to come up with all those cricket gentleman games credentials. So most probably this is how it goes, and we've seen over the course of history. But most probably this is the best time when we see Michael Clarke from Australia saying a lot of things, and he's a very influential guy. When we see Graham Smith, who is part of South African Cricket Board, he comes up with so many things, and ultimately Indian investment into SY20 makes him quieter. Now he's on a quieter front. So most probably this is the time that boards start manipulating, or boards start making counter argument or a lobby of themselves against BCCI. Most probably that is how
And
it
it's either
works.
finances or position of power, because then Graham Smith became the head of Cricket South Africa as well. So I think once again these acquisitions are in front of the whole world to realize how much cricket has been manipulated by BCCI, and I think people are becoming very vocal, and don't be surprised that in the next couple of weeks you might see even more people coming up and making statements as well. But now we take your focus to T20 international cricket, where Pakistan suffered a horrendous loss at the hands of South Africa. Pakistan were just nowhere in the game. There is hardly any positive that we can try to find in the batting or bowling, but then again, I think it's not the first time something like this has happened. Kashif, what's your overall analysis? A night of disappointment.
I think we were nowhere to be found, because it started with South African openers playing quality cricket. They've been playing, all sort of shots against our fast bowlers, and then in line with the most reasonable bowler yesterday evening was Syed, who was not the reasonable of the batters in the latest innings he has played, but most reasonable bowlers. He bowled some quality deliveries. Otherwise, Nawaz was there, and that is it. On a Rawalpindi track where their fast bowlers was getting extra zip from the surface in the coolish night of Islamabad, Rawalpindi, our fast bowlers were nowhere to be found, because Shaheen Shah Afridi looks ordinary even in the second spell when George Lende has every stroke played in those 4 to 5 deliveries he delivered to him. So most probably, I still believe yesterday evening it was a responsibility of the fast bowlers to provide us a good start.
Well, why that responsibility didn't go as planned? Let's take a look at South Africa's batting first of all, so you can analyze that. Well, there you have it. I mean, Reza Hendricks, I'm just in awe. What a fantastic player he's become. 60 runs. And I think Quinton de Kock didn't get going, but Tony de Zorzi has now become a T20 player. So I think everything was, and I think Pakistan should be glad that Dewal Brevis didn't fire. Otherwise, it would have been 200 plus. But I think we had no clue, and a lot of people are saying that Fahim Ashraf has bowled the spell of his life. 0 overs, 0 maidens, 0 wickets, and 0 nothing.
I guess, Mike Hesson's theory of playing T20 is revolves around 8 all-rounders to play a single match, and this is not just to be true to any surface. For Rawalpindi surface, we should have wanted and we should have played extra specialist spinner for that matter, and those spinner bowlers could have provided with some early breakthroughs in the power play once our fast bowlers get hammered by the openers. Fahim Ashraf, no overs, and previously Mohammad Nawaz played as an all-rounder, bowling no overs in the Asia Cup. So most probably too many all-rounders in the. And second important thing is when we talk about our batting, it's good to see that someone has replaced Mohammad Haris as a wicket keeper. But Usman against the quality fast bowling of South Africa will find no footing of any sort.
This is the same choice over and over again.
I wanted Haris to play South Africa because he's a good batter. He can slog good against the fast bowlers, and most probably Usman should have played the Asia Cup. It's the other way around. But now, Salman Yaga came up with in his press meet that he said that we wanted Usman to be part of it, part of the team, because ultimately we'll be playing against the spin in the World Cup.
Because you're mentioning these players, former captain of the Pakistan cricket team, Mohammad Hafiz, made a tweet and gave a statement on the platform of X. He says, confident player is better than a talented player. Positive mental state is important to perform well at competitive level. Consistent failures create negativity. That's where Team Pakistan is failing at the moment. Creating positive and comfortable environment can fix that issue. Nothing wrong with the Pindi pitch, but obvious difference is standard of cricket. International league versus international team. Yes.
So, most probably Hafiz is right, but most probably Hafiz is right. But when we talk about these ex-cricketer taking into the X account or the Twitter account previously, we do have to find out if they are available to see our domestic cricket, whether they are working on the surface, on ground levels, to find out just not the analysis of the match, but the real solution to anything. If he wanted someone not to be part of the Pakistani lineup, did he ever come up with a name from the domestic arena that this guy should play instead of that guy? It's not. So no, coming up with the analysis, it's quite easy. But coming up with the solution, it's what right now Pakistan team, Pakistan Cricket Board and everybody is looking for. You know, there were chants of Babar Azam, yet he failed. There were chants of no Salman, you know, as a captain, yet he unable to deliver.
But it's perfectly fine to come and watch your favorite player, but if he doesn't perform, for God's sake, don't leave the stadium. I mean, this is a team you have to support.
This is the second time in my life. Previously, it was Shahid Khan Afridi, and Yunus Khan was quite, you know, he was so funny at that moment. I still remember when he said, I was batting on 199 when Shahid got out, and everybody started leaving the stadium. Oh, please, I am on 199. So this is the charisma, this is a star, and we, you know, remember, we've created star out of Babar Azam. Yes, he delivered. Yes, he was scoring runs at his will.
But his dismissal, did you give that an idea? Because that wasn't Babar Azam, you know, that's unlike Babar Azam to play a shot like that. Normal days, he would have punched it through the covers probably or taken it to mid-wicket. He was trying to do something which is not naturally suited to.
Those normal days has long gone because we always wanted something out of Babar Azam, something new out of Babar Azam, where he can play like Pollard, where he can play like Chris Gayle, and we don't want those extra cover drives anymore. We wanted extra cover sixes for that matter. So most probably this is us who has created extraordinary pressure on the classical play. If we wanted him to play T20, let be that guy who can bat for 20 overs, and that is it. Because it's the responsibility of all other guys who are revolving or playing around Babar Azam to score at the rate of 160, and Babar Azam can do at 140 strike rate and most probably can deliver for Pakistan. But again, we wanted, and Mike Hassan said that we are making some tweaks in his batting and the ability to score runs. So
yeah, I saw the tweaks.
Yeah, so this is the first tweak. A ball who can be punched toward the extra over, he wanted to heave over mid-wicket. So first tweak is on the display in the yesterday's match, but most probably he won't survive this way.
We're coming to the bowling now. Two of your prime fast bowlers have been taken for more than 11 runs and over. Your only spinner properly that you're playing is Abrar. He's gone for 10.5 in the economy rate. Salman Liaga just bowled 1 over. He got 15, and then Saim Ayub and Mohammad Nawaz in there, who were probably the better options. Of course, they conceded 7.75 and 6.5 for Mohammad Nawaz, who also picked up 3 wickets and 2 for Saim Ayub.
Most probably, I was, you know, before, you know, analyzing this bowling performance, I was going through some of the highlights of the Quaid-e-Azam Trophy. Haris Rovers playing for Islamabad. Asher Mahmood, the way he take him to the cleaners. This is what the standard of Pakistan domestic cricket is. Ask these guys to go and start playing domestic cricket, and every now and then you'll feel that our batters, our bowlers in domestic cricket are so well equipped to face these fast bowlers or these spinners for that matter. But eventually, they just do not want to go there. They just want to wait because they are now wide ball specialists. They want to play PSL. They want to get into the limelight, and there are certain TV channels.
But too much limelight. There are certain players who've gotten too much limelight. I want you to discuss the curious case of Hassan Nawaz now, because a lot of scrutiny is now going on of what is he doing into the team. People like Syed Mohammad Awais have even said that he doesn't get a place in the World Cup.
Just recently we had, I met Hassan Nawaz for that matter. He wanted to open the innings. He got exploited with those swinging conditions in New Zealand, and entering in Quetta Gladiators side for the PSL. Saud wanted to open the innings.
Yeah, he was a skipper.
As a skipper. So he was slotted at 4. He started playing some good quality now. So everybody started thinking that this is the solution to our middle over crisis or middle order crisis, and eventually he performed against Bangladesh and some other teams. But now we wanted so much of him because he mentioned himself that either I'm batting with 3 to 4 overs remaining and they ask me to score 50 runs, either I'll be batting at a point where there is a collapse at
70 for 7.
You know, there is a collapse or 60 for 5 or 70 for 7, that matter. And they wanted to me Hassan Nawaz innings, and this just not bit. But yes, the short selection, the approach to the cricket, this needs to be rediscovered.
Absolutely. I mean, some of the shots that he plays look to be, you know, out of this world, but that's when he gets going. Otherwise, all our guns are going to go towards that direction, and we're going to be criticizing his performance. But my question is that even if we take decisions otherwise, if we bring in Abdul Samad and bring in Usman Tariq, and Pakistan still loses and they don't perform, then we're going to shut their case that we gave them a chance, they didn't perform, thank you very much. So we don't want this aggressive approach from both ends in the selection policy, or being dropped or being picked into the team or playing 11. Now, of course, I have to ask Kashif Majeed about one of his favorite bowlers as well, now known as Sir James Anderson. Kashif Majeed, I mean, knighthood has now formally and finally been bestowed upon Sir James Anderson.
Sir James Anderson carried that medal or that honor. Next fine morning, he went to play for Lancashire, most probably again, got again fifer, and this is how James Anderson works throughout his life. So most probably one of the very finest of those swing bowlers or the seam bowlers England has ever produced, and most probably he could have played for 3 to 4 years if that Baz ball has not struck England badly. But right now, when we talk about Sir Jimmy, he was one of those lads, you know, those bowling machine who's always deliver for England. Yes, there is we do talk about the Aussies do talk about his performances in Australia with the Kookaburra, but we all know with the Kookaburra the swing is not there, so does Jimmy Anderson was not that much effective, but eventually he manages to pull out, you know, those deliveries which can be remembered for long ages, and most probably his statistics throughout his career, those are those amazing numbers. And yes, people do talk about he's a new ball bowler in English conditions, and he has but he has managed to pull wickets in India, in Pakistan, in Australia for that matter, South Africa. So everywhere, wherever Jimmy Anderson go, strong record, and most importantly, playing around 200 test matches as a fast bowler. That's marvelous.
Anyone you want to knighthood in this playing 11 for Pakistan, or would you use the sword otherwise these days?
I want to, you know, it's too soon for so many characters. You know, it's the sample size for so many characters is too small. Yes, for all those stars we created, they have to shine bright now. You know, Babar has to shine bright now. Shaheen Shah Afridi has to shine bright now, because they have to be umbrella. They have to cover the youngsters coming into.
But I made these comments that whenever we've imported a player from UAE, be it Pakistan team or be it our team, he's never worked.
They are good fielders. Yeah, he always, you know, the ones which we are, you know, carrying in our team. He's an excellent fielder.
For 2 overs.
For 2 overs.
For 2 overs. No, nothing more than that. But thank you very much, Kashif Majeed, for joining us. You've heard Kashif's analysis as well. He said it's too early to judge these players right now, but I think the series will once again unfold a lot. Stay tuned on to the scoreboard. We'll be right back after this short break. Welcome back to the scoreboard. And now, climate change and global warming is threatening sports all over the world. It's not just one particular sports, but if we are to pick one, then marathons are certainly affected now with rise in temperatures. Organizers have been now forced to delay races to cooler months and also start them early before sunrise as well, which is causing a lot of safety adjustments that are now required. As far as sports psychologists and organizers are concerned, they have called for measures to protect athletes all around the world. But once again, we're also seeing slower times now as far as marathons are completed, and a lot of health concerns have popped up with marathon runners as well, a sport which is now on the verge of being reconsidered as a sport. So this is something that I think we really need to work collectively as far as the sporting fraternity or community is concerned, because at the end of the day, it will be affecting a lot of us, including future generations for sports as well. Of course, I think this is something that is already in the pipeline, where certain measures are being taken in different sports to combat the effects of climate change and global warming. But only time will tell how effective these do become as well. Now, of course, we're going to be talking about many other sports and, of course, highlighting first of all football, where we had a stellar performance once again from Al Hilal. They've made Al Nassr their bunny. I think over the years, Al Nassr have had no clue, and Ronaldo, ever since joining this club, has almost lost 13 titles now. Not good for someone who's got 950 goals and is now rated as the first billionaire in football. I think a title is something that he's still always hungry for as well. To discuss this and much more, in studios joining us is sports expert and fellow anchor Syed Mohammad OWAIS. Assalamu alaikum, how are you?
Walaikum salam, I'm good. How are you, Amjad?
I'm very well. So, I mean, Cristiano Ronaldo has not been able to push Al Nassr to victory. I think Al Hilal has just become a curse for them so far.
Al Nassr, because I was a part of a team. I mean, we practiced over there. The setup, what they bring, I mean, specifically the two clubs, I would say, Al Nassr and Al Hilal. I mean, they're one of the massive clubs with the financial outlook and with the mindset what they bring into the football, because they were the first ones to actually invest billions in the Royal Saudi League. But unfortunately, people, I know, because obviously Ronaldo is a big name. I mean, he's one of the eye catch for every marketing stuff sitting over there anywhere around the world. Like you said, he's a billionaire, and obviously he's leading with the chart in the goal scoring runs. But people forget to think about Al Hilal. They are one of the deadliest side. I mean, they are the one of the sides which have actually played the World Cup Club Championship even, you know, and they're the ones even they're one of the supreme power, I would say, in the Saudi Premier League. I mean, they have been brutal. Al Ittihad against Al Hilal, because even both clubs, I mean, I remember they have a grudge kind of a situation over there when they both play. But the way Al Ittihad, specifically, they have been playing in this tournament. For Al Hilal, again, I'm telling you, Al Hilal and Al Ittihad, they're one of the prime clubs. But for me, Al Nassr, one thing they will have to realize, it's just not Ronaldo's game. I mean, you need to be a proper department to get the breakthroughs. Unfortunately, rightly pointed, it's a heavy investment. 7 to 8 back-to-back tournaments they have lost on.
But the concept of bringing in huge players like Cristiano Ronaldo was mainly to, you know, attract a lot of youngsters into the sport as well. So that, I think, was the only job. Otherwise, if you still look at the composition of most of these teams, it's the local talent that is performing.
So, I mean, for me, that's the point. I mean, because when you talk about Al Hilal specifically, I will talk. I mean, it's not the big names; it's the local talent, because it's the captain is the Saudian guy who even heads the Saudi team. It's the local talent who basically performed for them.
And is that transcending into the national level?
That's transcending, because I remember when the Saudi Premier League match was, the whole tournament actually was designed up. It was because to get this big guns over there to actually help the local players to basically groom themselves for the international stage. Because we played against, I guess, 3 matches against Saudi, Pakistan team. And we have seen that transition, because if I remember the first game what we played in Saudi, where we lost, I guess, 2-0. I mean, Pakistan was literally brilliant in that. And I remember Mancini, one of the biggest names, was the coach. He's the coach of Saudi team. And Pakistan were actually cruising that match. 80 minutes, it was 0-0. And at last moment, I remember Mancini coming out of the dugout and getting the Al Hilal 2 strikers to get in touch with and they scored 2 goals over there. So it has actually groomed the youngsters who are coming up for Saudi. And if you see the Saudi team right now, they qualified for the World Cup. You see the game plan that shows they have been groomed, specifically just not the players, even the staff. And if you talk about the club requirement and specifically the Saudi football structure, not it's being handled by professionals. They don't have, they have a local with the international guys who are actually heading the projects. I mean, if you talk about the under-17, under-19 project over there, they have consistently, they have got some international fixtures going on. They play more away games. They play even the home games. So that has basically built up to get the best league out of the world.
Well, I mean, even if I look at the performances of top teams, Al Hilal is one of them. Al Ittihad is now another team that is probably beating Al Nassr all the time. So, I mean, teams have gone past that aura of Cristiano Ronaldo, and you're absolutely right. But because you mentioned Roberto Mancini, true brain of football, let's be honest about it. I've been following him all the way to when he was part of the English Premier League as well. Do you think he's had that influence, or he has been part of that hierarchy which has probably suggested what should happen on the grassroots level for future Saudi players?
It is, I mean, like I told you, because right, the recent match which we played against Syria and Saudi, and obviously the Saudian Football Federation were looking after us. And when speaking to the General Secretary, or I would say the Saudian Football Federation, I was going through the breakdown of the departments. I mean, like I told, they have got some very big names, I mean, who are heading actually the department. And specifically, what is the good thing is that they're mainly focusing on the under 23, under 19 and the under 17 structure. Physically, you can say even for the education, they're looking after them. And one thing, because I remember they're actually getting the replica of the English Premier League, because when I recently when I was there for the Aston Villa and for West Ham, so what I learned over there was that they invest in a future of a football player from the age of 8 till the age of 16. And in that age period, he's looked after his education, football, everything against his diet. If he does not perform well, he's out of that system. Obviously would be in the football structure, but out of the club, 99.9% he does not make it back.
A lot of people have already claimed that a league is the right way forward. Even in Pakistan, there's a lot of hue of cry that if you want to improve football, you need to have a league. Even Stefan Constantine, the previous coach, said this. Noberto Serrano, this coach, also said this. Saudis, I think, have given us a prime example of how a league can be very successful, but they've had monumental monetary investment into that. Do you also believe that a league is the only way to improve grassroots level football?
See, Ahmed bhai, when you talk about a league structure, the thing what in Pakistan specifically, what people have in their mind is regarding looking at the Pakistan Super League. I mean, it's the 10th edition coming up. It's 11th edition. They had a 10-year contract with any businesses. They had a 10-year contract with any I would say a multinational company. You need to have a contract with that. But the thing is that cricket has been in Pakistan a brilliant structure from 50, 60 years. I mean, it's a dominant sport. It's a dominant sport. When you talk about football, what Stephen, the right point, what he wanted was that not to have a major league, to have a relegation system in the minor league, what basically you can say a domestic league. I mean, in your system, like for example, you play one match in Karachi, Karachi comes and plays home and away games, I would say. So you have a relegation system. Make that strong, then go for a bigger league, because in a bigger league, obviously it's a business model. Whoever spends money would see as a business model.
Absolutely.
He's going to get some big names. Your Pakistan players would never groom in that.
Absolutely. I think that is something that where football world can probably take a leaf out of Saudi Arabia's book as well, because their league is now very much competitive. But Al-Ittihad have been brilliant against Al-NASSR. I think this was a monumental victory once again, knocking them out of the King's Cup, and disappointment for Al-NASSR, who I think have to revisit their strategies. But now we take your focus to cricket and give you a big news first of all. And why is it so big? Is the fact is because we're watching T20s these days, and I think from pink, OWAIS has already turned purple now. But the fact is that both Pakistan and South African teams have now reached Lahore for the remainder of the T20 series. They have, of course, reached the city of Lahore, the heart of Punjab, where the remaining T20s will be taking place as well. But the first T20 international was utterly disappointing. No doubt about that. And I think Syed Mohammad OWAIS is equally disappointed, aren't you?
I was disappointed. By my heart is Pakistan, but from outside, obviously, I'm disappointed. That's why I just changed my color. I mean, said purple is okay. I mean, not for purple force, but still. The stuff what happened yesterday, it was unfortunate, because when you talk about winning the toss, obviously I wanted Pakistan to just ball on first, because initially if you just go through the track record of Pakistan has been good chases, but I forgot that it was Rizwan and Babar Azam who used to chase the run score for you. That's the same issue. I know the bowling has been a biggest problem for us. Sufyan Mukim not in the Pakistan team. I don't know what's the reason. Usman Tariq, a brilliant guy who had been performing CPL in the CPL, he performed brilliantly well. He was not included over there, but he could have been a great choice. Shaheen Shah Afridi looked off color. I'm sorry to say, you can say it was a mediocre bowler. The way he started the spell, it's a T20 going on, and it's a wicket where basically, you know, it's a belter wicket where you can score around 190, 200 runs easily. Even you have seen the Pakistan Super League.
Chase is always on.
You need to be more accurate with the slower ones, with the roll of the fingers. I didn't see that. If you talk about Naseem Shah even too, going down the side, rolling his fingers, I mean, what line length was actually
why not bowl Fahim Ashraf? He's been so good with breakthroughs in the Asia Cup even. Why not bowl him when you need him the most?
See, I was coming there. I mean, when you talk about the captaincy, there are many things going on in the mind. I mean, I don't know. See, if you're a captain, you need to realize one thing. Aghaji, you need to realize one thing, that you're the captain of Pakistan. It's your territory, and you may need to make the decisions over there. I know there's analysts, there's coaches. I mean, obviously informations do pass to you, but what the situation requires, you need to go through that. Why is not Fahim Ashraf being involved? I don't know what's going on. I mean, why is he in the Pakistan team then? Because he performed superbly in the Asia Cup. When you know your fast bowlers are not performing, he was the best choice you could have implemented in him. Secondly, Ibrar, I don't know why he has been a consistent part of the Pakistan team, whether he's not performing. Like I said, you had Usman Tariq, you could have got even Sufyan Mukim in that. When you talk about the batting lineup, one thing, I know he's performing with the ball, even in the Asia Cup he performed with the ball, but his main responsibility is for the batting. I'm talking about Saim Ayub. The start of the innings, Sahibzada was going brilliantly, but unfortunately, obviously, when you have to go through around 8 or 9 runs per over, 7 runs per over, you need to have the second end even striking with you. When there's more dot balls, obviously that pressure
But he's
continues to you.
accepted that in the post-match as well. He said that I know I'm struggling at the moment.
See, Ahmed bhai, he did accept it, but with a big heart, I would say. If you're not being utilized as, what's your utility, I mean, you're not being grooming in it, you're not being performing in it. That's the point where you speak to the management that, see, I'm not performing, I need a rest over here. That's the point I'm telling you. You need to get him on board and tell him if you can't perform, take some rest for 1 or 2 matches, then come back. I mean, watch out the games outside and see what's going on wrong with you. The biggest issue again, it's the opening department. Then whom would bat on the?
Let me give you another issue. We're all about issues today, but let me just show you something very interesting. Let's take a look at a very interesting stat, and then I'll have OWAIS analyze this as well. There you go. A duck without scoring, 2 deliveries he's faced. Then Kane Williamson in the first ODI against England, and then of course Virat Kohli in the first ODI against Australia. So I mean, your top 3. I don't have Joe Root in there, otherwise your top Fab 4 would have been completed.
Yesterday someone said, he said, don't worry, man, even Virat Kohli don't perform, so you need to relax. But Babar Azam coming after a long period of time, the position what he has been batting on, that was not the shot what Babar Azam, if you just think about him, when he was in the Pakistan opening circuit, I would say, that was not the shot to play on. But again, on the second end department, no one is performing for you. Saim Ayub, the way he played initially, I would say, created the whole pressure on the middle order. But for me, even I guess you might agree with me, I know he's a big name, Babar Azam. Why were Babar Azam? Where are the other ones? They don't have a duty over there to perform well with them, to just chip in something. Salman Ali Agha as a captain, I'm sorry if he's not the captain, I don't think so he would be even fitting up in the middle order. Hassan Nawaz, the shots what he has been playing on, I know you have been an opener, you have performed in the opening department, but the position where he's playing, we need to actually just realize.
But Babar has equaled Shahid Afridi's record as well of 8 ducks in T20 international cricket. He's at number 3 now, and only above him are Saim Ayub with 9 ducks, and number 1 topping that list.
10 ducks yesterday.
Number 1 topping that list is your favorite player, Umar Akmal, with 10 ducks in T20 international cricket.
He's pumping up at NCF because he knows that spot is open for him. But again, when you talk about the middle order, Babar Azam, obviously he's feeling that pressure.
I'm sorry to cut you, but I think Umar Akmal has realized they need a good wicket-keeper batter.
I'm telling you, because the way he has, the videos coming up, I mean, he's practicing a lot. And Umar bhai lage raho, waise kuch, we don't know what happens, but he's practicing a lot. But for me, Usman Khan, the one coach even said that he's brilliant against spin, uses good feats against them. Where are the feats, I mean, because the recent, I remember the recent tournament what he played, I mean, he scored around 20 to 30 runs and he started the innings. I mean, he played the fast bowlers, then it came to the middle order. Issue for me is that it's not about his performance, it's about the place in the Pakistan team. The whole life what he played back in UAE, he played for Multan Sultans. He has opened the innings for Multan Sultans, or he's played one down position. The position where he's batting right now, it's not a position of a wicketkeeper batsman. Top quality wicketkeeper batsman in the world, they basically perform at, they play at number 1 position, or they play at the one down position. You clearly missed one I would say, one batsman, that was Fakhar Zaman in the middle order, batting at number 4. That was a crucial position. Where
but I want you to give a message to cricket fans, especially in Pakistan, that I understand you come to watch your favorite player, but once he, is done, I mean, don't, do this. We've seen it happening in the past, that we've been obsessed with individuals rather than the team, and once again, the same thing is happening.
I mean, that's the point I said. I mean, why Babar Azam? It's a collective team. And frankly speaking, I remember, it's a joke. Everyone does take a joke, because when you are with the team, because I've obviously worked with many league teams, a player who's set on the field, and if someone from the crowd starts yelling at saying that isko jaldi out karo, Babar ko leke aao, it's a fun thing over there, but psychologically, literally, it disturbs you a lot.
It really disturbs the team, but Pakistan will have to make a comeback. Otherwise, I think things are going to be very much difficult with 100 days to go, about 3 months to go now till the T20 World Cup, and we're still not sure of our performances. That being said, OWAIS, finally, I must ask you about Sir James Anderson, who's been officially knighted, and I mean, what a proud moment for him and his family.
One of the guys who has been working with James Anderson, he said me that if he bowls at 25 overs, he does not sweat, man. I mean, the fitness he carries at this age, that was the one, I would say. Sir James Anderson, what a bowler. Look at his fitness. I mean, he's obviously a coaching part of the England team right now. But if you talk about Test cricket, I remember even in the ending era of Test cricket, he was the one who stuck with it, because I remember at that point, many of them turned themselves to T20 cricket. Broad and Anderson were basically the main pillars of Test cricket of England, who actually, I would say, created a new life for the fast bowlers in England for the Test cricket. Because recently, if you go through the England cricket stuff, because I worked with one of the teams over there, they have this problem coming up, because the 4-day cricket over the county championship, the youngsters coming up, they're basically avoiding it and they're trying to go for the T20 blast, or they're trying to go for the one-day cup over
Or even
there.
T10s now.
Even T10, I mean. So they're trying to just go through that process. But Anderson, what a legacy he's carried. I mean, like I told you, I remember about his fitness. 25 overs, I mean, he won't sweat. I mean, he's the guy who basically goes in one rhythm. And the most famous thing, if you remember, it was Anderson versus Australia changing that bail stuff and Broad. I mean, so that's point I would say everyone would miss on.
Oh, I did that as well, and the opposition batter started screaming that this is, you know, almost magical stuff. But thank you very much, OWAIS, for joining us. I think Sir James Anderson would go down in history as probably one of the greatest bowlers that we've seen, not just to play for England, but for the world of cricket as well. That being said, I think I have to talk about baseball before we go. And Game 4 of the World Series was an exciting one. Although the start was brilliant with Enrique Hernandez hitting a sacrifice fly run. But I think if you talk about the Blue Jays, they broke it open in the 7th innings with that 4-run, and that really made the difference as well. But with the series now tied at 2, all momentum is now shifted back to Toronto. So let me be very honest that Toronto not only leveled the series against the Dodgers, but they've gotten momentum back as well. That means that Guerrero's home run not only gave Toronto the lead, but broke the key moment, shifting momentum, and their ability to go deeper into the game is probably going to give the Jays a blue pen breathing room as well. But it's going to be very, very, I think, competitive from here onward now, with Blue Jays now, of course, in contention. At the same time, Toronto is as well. That's all we have from this edition of the Scoreboard. Don't forget to write to us on our digital media handles as well. But from me and the entire team, it's goodbye for now.